Aren't you Buddhists meant to be kind and compassionate to other living beings? Please do not do this to us, said the yoginis when they recovered. It is due to compassion that I am doing this, replied Virupa. He placed a small votive stupa on top of the image and admitted all the yoginis to the practice of the Buddha Dharma. At this time, the boatman Dambiharuka, who had been with Virupa since the second parting of the Ganges, was blessed to attain the realization of a bodhisattva at the sixth bhumi. Virupa then sent him to Radha province in eastern India to subdue an evil Hindu king named Dehara, who had a palace named Kankana. Mounted on a pregnant tiger and brandishing a deadly snake bridle and whip, Mahasiddha Dambiharuka subdued the king and his subjects. They were all admitted to the path of Vajrayana. Meanwhile, Virupa and Krishnacharyan traveled to Devikota in southeastern India, where an upashika named Iron-Legged, sometimes also identified as the teacher of Acharya Maitreya Gupta, had an image of Kasharpani, which he had imported from the Potala realm, which is the nether world. Virupa paid homage to Kasharpani and made an offering of all the activities in which he had been involved from the time of his ordination up to the defeat of Sahaja Devi. The great compassionate one said, "O noble son, you have the magical power to pulverize even Mount Sumeru. Nevertheless, there are varieties of sentient beings whose karmic propensities are inconceivable. So you should cultivate great compassion to the Tirthikas instead of frightening them." Tirthikas means the Hindus. Virupa replied, saying, "There is a place called Sovanatha in the west where thousands of animals are sacrificed every year. I must first of all go there to subdue it. After that I shall do as the great compassionate one has ordered." The great compassionate one advised Virupa to subdue them without force using skillful means. As Virupa and Krishnacharyan journeyed towards the west to subdue Sovanatha, the god had discovered Virupa's intention by means of his contaminated clairvoyance. Sovanatha disguised himself as a pure Brahmin, and when he met the two travelers on the road, he asked them knowingly, "Where are you two yogis going?" "We are going to subdue Sovanatha," Virupa replied, also knowingly. "If you are a kind and compassionate Buddhist, why do you have to subdue him?" asked the disguised Sovanatha. "That is the very reason why I need to subdue him," replied Virupa. "He is not there now. He has gone to Purva-videha, the eastern continent," Sovanatha advised. "I will also go there, as I must subdue him, come what may. Wherever he has gone, whether to one of the four continents or to the realm of Brahmas, I must go there and subdue him," said Virupa. Hearing this, Sovanatha became very afraid and admitted, "I am Sovanatha." He revealed his ordinary manifestation and requested Virupa not to subdue him forcefully. Virupa replied, "In that case, you must establish Sangha communities and build Buddhist monasteries. On top of their doors, draw my image and make regular offerings. You can first make rice flour and vegetarian food offerings to the Triple Gem, then to me, and finally to yourself if there is any left over. If you abandon the sacrifice of animals and replace that practice with the offerings I have described, I will let you remain there. If you fail to do this, I will reduce everything to dust." Sovanatha happily vowed to do all of these things. He requested Virupa to remain in the world until the sun and moon had ceased to exist, and Virupa agreed. In a dream, Sovanatha revealed to King Chandradeva of Tishala in western India that the king must see to the accomplishment of all the promises he had made to Virupa. If the king should fail to fulfill all of Sovanatha's vows within 3 months, his kingdom would be conquered. Seeing this in the dream, the frightened king hurriedly arranged to give effect to all the promises. Accordingly, the king built a monastery about half-day's journey from Sovanatha in the region of Gujarat, in beautiful surroundings with luxuriant shrubs, waterfalls, and flower-filled meadows. About 100 monks were settled there. He forbade the slaughter of goats and buffaloes, and made it illegal to kill or harm any animal. With mixed feelings of excitement and curiosity, The king offered a grand reception to Virupa, whose power could frighten even Mahadeva. By this time, Virupa had given the Vajra verses to his disciple Krishnacharyan, who had not yet gained realization equal to that attained by Virupa, and blessed him with this level of realization. He then asked Krishnacharyan to fulfill three main tasks: to subdue an evil king, one, to subdue an evil Hindu king in eastern India, two, to accept Acharya Dhammarup as his disciple, and to pass on the whispered lineage knowledge to him, three, to bring out the 5 scriptures of Vajra verses from Udayana to the west. Mysterious passing away. There are 2 versions of Virupa's passing away. Some say he dissolved into a stone image. Others say he became a stone image. The image's right hand was in the gesture of holding the sun, while the left, in the gesture of granting supreme realization, was holding a container of gold paint capable to transmute all base elements into gold. The gold paint was said to be the size of a medium-sized arura fruit. There are several legends about this stone statue. It is said that one who approaches the image respectfully, even a small child, can reach high enough to place flower garlands around its neck. 2, one who approaches disrespectfully, even the tallest person cannot reach high enough to place anything on the image. 3, in front of the image is a stone skull cap which never overfills, even if one pours hundreds and thousands of jars of wine into it. 4, there is a dumb boy believed to be an emanation of Vajrapani in front of the image. 5, there is a manifestation of Vajravarahi in front of the image which appears alternately as a leprous or a dumb girl. It is said that at the request of a Brahmin, Virupa, who had transformed into a stone image, gave the stone paint to a Brahmin who subsequently made a lot of gold. When the local king heard the news, he tried to rob the Brahmin. The Brahmin hurriedly returned the gold paint stone to the hand of the image and said to the king, "Since it is not mine, I cannot give it to you. I have returned it to the hand of the owner. You can go and get it from his hand if you want it." The statue closed his fist and did not give the stone to the king. The king, frustrated in his greedy endeavor, ordered his men to cut off the hand of the image. However, the man who attempted to do so vomited blood and died immediately. Following this incident, the local people became afraid that the stone image might bring harm to them. They consequently enshrined the statue in gold, which they obtained by pushing wires through the fingers. This became a most sacred shrine where both Buddhists and non-Buddhists would come to worship. It became known as Punyahara, the robber of merits to the non-Buddhists, and Sri Balanatha, the glorious master of power to the Buddhists. The Hindu god Kumara Kartika was bound by oath to maintain the offerings to the sacred image. This shrine of Somnath is said to be situated in the Saurashtra district of modern Gujarat in western India.